welcome to BTBJ, welcome to Shabbat Toldot, and welcome to the Simcha of Holly's Bat Mitzvah. How about a big mazel tov for her? Mazel tov. So we're very happy to have you with us. Can we ask you to take a second, if you have a cell phone or something that might ring, please silence them, turn them off, so we don't break the sanctity of Shabbat. And if you have a red siddur, you're in great shape. And we're going to invite you to turn to page 5. Page 5, where we're going to begin Kabbalat Shabbat with the singing of Shalom Aleichem to welcome the Shabbat spirit. So, Holly, we want you to come forward up here to the table with proud parents. Lauren and Scott, bring your sister Abby with you. And we're going to welcome Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem. Please feel free to join along in all of our songs and prayers, dear friends. Page 5.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bo'achem L'Shalom,
Malachei Hashalom,
Malachei
Elyon,
Mi Melech,
Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu,
Barfuni
L'Shalom,
Malachei
Hashalom,
Malachei
Elyon,
Mi
Melech,
Malachei Hamlachim
HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitzchem L'Shalom,
Malachei Hashalom
Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech,
Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
So Shalom Aleichem. Welcome everybody to this beautiful Shabbat. We're going to invite you to turn to page 14. Our next song to welcome the Shabbat is Yismechu Hashamayim, 14 at the red arrow.
Yismechu Hashamayim,
Yismechu Hashamayim,
Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tayel
Haaretz,
Yismechu Hashamayim,
Hashamayim,
Yismechu Hashamayim,
Hashamayim,
Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tayel
Haaretz,
Yeram
Hayam, Yeram Hayam, Yeram Hayam, Umelo,
Yeram
Hayam, Yeram Hayam, Yeram Hayam, Umelo. Holly, as we invite you to come back for Lecha Dodi, we want to extend to you and all of us words of blessing from Psalm 29. Adonai Oz li'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. May God bless you with strength, with peace, with all things good. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
Page 23. Holly, you can take your mask off, baby, if you want. Page 23, we're going to welcome the Shabbat Queen and Bride with the singing of Lecha Dodi, starting with the first 3 verses on 23.
Lecha Dodi
Likrat Kala,
Penei Shabbat Nekavela,
Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nekavela.
Lecha
Lecha
Dodi
Dodi, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nekavela. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nekavela.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Him Shmianu El Hamuhad
Adonai Echad U'Shemo Echad L'Shem V'Tiferet V'Lichila.
Lecha Dodi
Dodi Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela
Likrat Shabbat Lechuvenelcha Ki hi mekorcha bracham Mir mosh mikedem nesuka Sov ma'aseh ben rasha matila Lecha Dodi
Dodi Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela
Mikdash melech ir melechecha Kumitzei
Tochachecha Rama Shevet B'nei Mekabacha V'hu Yachmol Alayichem
Lecha
Dodi
Dodi Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Page 25, the middle verse, Yamin.
Vahuvu
Yamin
Small Tifrotzi, V'et Adonai, Ritzi, here, Ayad Ish Ben Partzi, V'nismecha V'nagila. Lecha
Dodi
Dodi Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala.
B'nei Shabbat Nekabela.
I would invite you to rise and face the door. Traditional fashion, we'll sing to welcome the Shabbat spirit. Come through the door with the last verse of Boi V'Shalom.
Boi v'shalom
Teret bala, Gam b'simcha u'b'tzohala, Toch emunei am sigula, Boi chala, Boi chala. Lecha
Dodi
Dodi Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. You may be seated. Shabbat Shalom. Sabbath Queen is here, and Holly is sang that so beautiful to welcome her. So we're now going to turn to the next page. Actually, probably skipped a page or two. Go to 28 in the middle from the Psalm for Shabbat, Tzaddik.
Tzaddik atama yifrach ke'erez balvanun yizke shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrut Eloheinu yafrichu odinuvun beseva teshenim verananim yeyu lehagid yashar Adonai tzuri tzuri velo ablatabu.
So, dear friends, we just started a new Hebrew month. Last night, Thursday night, and today. It's over. The first day is over now because it's dark. But do you know what Hebrew month we started about? Because we're going to talk about a famous holiday this month that you all know of. Yes? Very good. Is that my dear friend from El Paso? I recognize you under the...
There are 5,000 of us there.
Is that what it is? 5,000 Jews in El Paso?
Almost a million.
Almost a million. Right. Oh, in El Paso.
You know, Paso.
Right, but you got 5,000 Jews.
Yes.
If you got a million, you're in great shape. So that's great. It's a lovely town. And yes, it's the month of Kislev. Today, once darkness hit a little while ago, started the second day of Kislev. Holly, that's the Hebrew date of your bat mitzvah, 2 Kislev. Hebrew year is 5782. So a little later, I'm going to talk about what's the famous holiday that happens in Kislev. Every Jewish kid knows. Hanukkah, right. I'm going to share some thoughts with you about Hanukkah a little later because now it's less than a month away. We're in the month. So that's where we are, 2 Kislev. And right now we're on page 39A as we continue with the Mariv evening service and invite you to rise for Baruch Hu, our call to worship. Baruch Adonai Barach Liolam Vahed. You may be seated. We go through the seasons of our lives. Days pass into nights, nights pass into day. May both of them bring us brachot, blessings, when it's light and when it's dark. Blessed are you, Lord, for the evening dusk. Amen. Page 40, a song from the next paragraph about Torah is Kihem Chayenu.
Kihem Chayenu
V'yorech Yameinu.
Uvahem nege yomam balayla. Kihem Chayenu v'yorech Yameinu. Uvahem nege yomam balayla. Kihem Chayenu v'yorech Yameinu. Uvahem nege yomam balayla. Kihem Chayenu v'yorech Yameinu. Uvahem nege yomam
Balayla.
Kihem Chayenu
V'yorech Yameinu.
Uvahem nege yomam balayla.
Kihem Chayenu.
V'yorech Yameinu. Uvahem nege yomam
Balayla.
Yalacha atasim imenu elamim baruch Adonai ohev amo Yisrael.
Amen. Page 41, our bat mitzvah leads us in Shema Yisrael. Take off your mask, dear.
Shema
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Li'olam Va'ed. V'ahavta Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha
V'chol nafshecha
u'b'chol miodecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shochtecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam liot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha.
Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Praise be the name of one whose glorious sovereignty is forever and ever. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all that is yours. These words that I command on this day shall be taken to heart. Teach them again and again to your children. Speak of them when you sit in your home, when you walk by on your way, while you lie down, when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and a symbol above your eyes. Inscribe them on your doorposts of your home and on your gates.
The next page, we continue with the next two paragraphs on our own.
Adonai Elohechem emet.
Page 44, second paragraph.
Mi chamocha
Ba'elim Adonai,
mi
kamocha, nedar ba'kodesh, norah tehilot, osei feleh.
Machudecha ruvanecha v'keyam lifnei Moshe zelianu v'yamru.
Adonai yimloch li'olam va'ed.
V'nemai ki vada Adonai et Yaakov ugalo miad chazak mimenu baruch et Adonai ga Yisrael.
Amen. Page 45, a prayer of Hashkivenu is a prayer for peace. We hope and pray that we will rise up in peace, go to sleep in peace. May our comings and our goings, our travels throughout life be in peace now and always. Baruch atah Adonai, dear God, spread over us. Sukkot Shalomecha, the canopy of your peace over us, over all the people of Israel, Jerusalem, and all of humanity. Amen.
Amen.
Page 46, we're going to sing Vishamro, a song for Shabbat.
V'shamru
B'nei Yisrael
et
et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
B'nei b'nei Yisrael, oti li'olam, oti li'olam, oti li'olam.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
ביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת
וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות
את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. יקדע ויקדש שמי רבה
אמן.
ויעמד דברי חירותי וימלא מלכותי
בחייכם וביומכם ובחיי בכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב.
ואמרו
אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך.
וישבת ויתאר ויתרומם ויתנא וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי לקודשה
ברכו
ויעלם
ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה. Amen. Page 47 is the Amidah. For those of you who would like to rise for this and say it in traditional style, Hebrew or English, prayers in your hearts, page 47, said individually. Melech Ozer V'Fakir, Moshe Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai. Don't forget to Ma'ashiv Aruach, Mordei Gashmi. Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Chatzis. Shir Shir Moshe Yishlomo. What's the shalom? What's the shalom? When you're finished your prayers, you may be seated. Our sisters are going to lead us in a prayer for peace, so says shalom. It's at the bottom of page 54. Sorry, 55. No, 54 is right. A lot of you know the words, and please feel free to join in.
Oseh shalom bimrama, huyaseh shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu,
V'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'yakol Yisrael. Amen. Great job, ladies. You can go have a seat for a little bit. How about a big hand for our sisters here? They do good? Proud of you. When you come back, you're going to do Kiddush. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I feel like a robot these days. I'm like constantly hooked up to something. Anyway, good to see you all. All right, so who came from the furthest? We got El Paso. That's not close. Who else? Anybody further? California? Israel? Norway? No? Okay.
We have Chicago.
All right. No, Chicago's not, is what it is. Right? Good. Well, you're all welcome. Bruchim Abim. It's great to see you all. And synagogues and Jews are in many ways alike wherever you go. So, do you feel a little bit at home, El Paso?
Absolutely.
I'm so glad. What is your first name?
My first name? Susan.
Susan. You're so welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Me llamo Susan.
Oh, is that Spanish? I'm in trouble.
It's my version of Spanish.
Yeah, that's good enough. I'm in trouble. Are you kidding? I'm still working on English. But it's great to see you. I have fond memories of El Paso and the Jewish community there from many years ago. If I remember correctly, it's like right over the border from Juarez, because we went to Juarez, from there for a day and good memories. So it's great to have you. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So I wanted to share some thoughts with you about Hanukkah and about the month of Kislev. So let's start with some rudimentary facts. Hanukkah, what's the Hebrew date? Well, first of all, we're in Kislev, right? Let's start with the month. So we said before Kislev. It's in Kislev. Nisan's Pesach, another great month. It changes from English date to English date. I think this year it's like on Thanksgiving weekend, which is like rather early, but that's the way the calendar works. But the actual date is the 25th, Chaf Hei Kislev. It's 25th begins. How many nights is Hanukkah? There you go. Way to go, Scott. We imported a rabbinic scholar for this conversation. Hanukkah is the only holiday that starts in one month but ends in another. Because by the time it starts at the 25th of Kislev, you don't have 8 days left in the month, so it goes into the next month, which is Tevet, and the last day is the 3rd. So it bridges 2 months, which is interesting. The English date, will vary because of the year. So Hanukkah, Thanksgiving's all good. The word Hanukkah itself, do we know what it means in Hebrew? Remember the ancient story, a lot of you? There was a miracle involved, for sure. There was a rededication of the temple and the temple lights. Now you're good. You're good. You can't get any wrong answers. You get so much credit just for jumping in and trying. So rededication of the temple, because according to the tradition, the Syrian Greeks had changed it to their ways and Hellenistic ways, and it was no longer recognizable as a pure temple. So the Maccabees came in, repurified it, cleaned it, rededicated it to Jewish worship, and that's what Hanukkah means. Hanukkah Abayit is a dedication of a house. It means rededication. That's what they did. So there's a great story about the Maccabees in Judah and the lights in 8 days and the little bit of oil that was supposed to last for 1 day, but it lasted for 8. That's part of the miracle. And we say, Nes Gadol Hayasham, a great miracle happened there. And we all love to celebrate Hanukkah, and we light the Chanukiot 8 nights with one ascending candle for each night. Okay, let's see, where should we go next? Here we go. I think I have 3 points I was going to share with you out of the 1,000 we could. Hanukkah's how many days? Could you make an argument that Hanukkah should be celebrated for a different number of days than 8? And why? Who's that cute little voice I hear, but I can't see anybody? What's your name, sweetie? Maya. Maya? How long should Hanukkah be?
I mean, you can really make an argument that Hanukkah should be any amount of days, but you could also argue that it should be 9 days, just technically as there are 9 candles on the menorah, they just count because the 9th one is the sun and the star obviously picked up. So you might have an argument that it should be 9 days. Technically, you can argue if it's a big holiday, then technically you could say it should be 250, and you know what? You'd still be entitled to your opinion.
Rabbi Scott, I think you and I have both been demoted. Maya, beautiful thinking. Thanks for sharing that with us. Hanukkah actually does have 9 candles, doesn't it? Because as a shamus, that lights the other candles. So maybe you could argue you should have a night per candle, 9. Excellent, very nice. What, dear? Bavakasha. Spanish, Hebrew, holy cow. It's like you brought the United Nations in, So that's great. Also, I like your idea of Hanukkah could be many days, because there's a little bit of Hanukkah in every day that a Jew lives, because it celebrates miracles, light, togetherness, hope, That should be part of us every day. And so there's a little lesson for you, Holly. After your bat mitzvah weekend's over, Saturday, Sunday, whatever you're doing, start to get to Monday, Tuesday, party's not over. It's just starting. Jewish life. You should find something good to do Jewishly next week, week after. Next Shabbos we're here, every Shabbos. This is just the start. It's not the end. So let it keep on going, just like a good thing. So very good. Maya, some great answers there. I'm going to make an argument that Hanukkah should be 7 nights. And now I want you guys to tell me why. You have the days of creation, right? That's a big part of the Torah, which we just read not too long ago. Think about what we're celebrating. What do we celebrate for 8 nights? We talked about it. The miracle. The miracle of what?
The oil. The first day wasn't a miracle.
Why?
The oil was going to burn for the one day anyway.
If you're celebrating, let me guess, is that Richard from El Paso?
Yes. And I'm going to tell you that Maya's our granddaughter.
Is that what? Maya's your?
Granddaughter.
Holy cow. You guys could really take this show on the road, you know? Bring a lot of joy to every bat mitzvah we'd have. Richard, excellent. There are people who argue that if Hanukkah is all about the miracle, first day's not a miracle. You know what a miracle is? When you don't pay for your electric bill for 4 months and your lights are still on. But if you just paid your electric bill and the lights are on, you don't really look at them and go, God, it's amazing. If we had enough oil, according to the traditional story, for one day, first day's not a miracle. They lit the oil. And actually, they had decisions to make at that time. One opinion was, light the oil, let it go, see what happens. And they did, and it lasted 8 days. Another opinion was, maybe light a little bit, put it out, a little bit, put it out. So you had a little bit for each day. Until, according to the tradition, it would take about 8 days to make freshly new, certified hextured oil from the high priest. So there was different ways to go about this. Another opinion was don't light it at all until the 8th day, because by then they'll have more, and so you light it. Once you light it, you don't have to put it out anymore. It's there. You know, in every generation, we have new ways of talking about Judaism and understanding things. I'll never forget one of the cutest things I ever heard. I think it was a kid who told us this a few years ago. Said, you know what the miracle of Hanukkah is like? It's like when you look at your cell phone, and there's like one little red line, but it lasts half the day. I thought that was brilliant. There you go, right? So whatever it is, miracles are really involved in Hanukkah. So let me give you the other side of that, because in Jewish tradition, there's always another hand, like Tevye sings, right? On the other hand. And in the study of Talmud, there's always a dissenting opinion and another opinion. Very few things does everybody agree on. They see different sides of things. On the other hand, Hanukkah is about a lot more than a miracle. It's about a miracle that people brought about on their own. We don't have a story that God came down, wiped away the Hellenists and Syrian Greeks, and purified the temple himself. We have a story about a man named Mattathias, Matityahu, who was the high priest of Modin and rebelled against the Syrian Greeks, and his son Judah and others rose up, and they fought a 3-year guerrilla warfare of independence that began in 167 BCE and ended in 164 BCE. So they brought about the miracle of Hanukkah. It was people doing it. Now you could say that's miraculous in and of itself. It was. But miracles come in lots of forms. One of the things we should learn from this is each one of us can make miracles happen and do good things for each other and for the world. It's not just a matter of sitting here praying to God and hoping, thunder and lightning will fall out of the sky. So let us be responsible for bringing the miraculous into our lives. Maya, do you want to say something? Say yes or no, dear.
One of the people at my school, we were talking about, we were singing
very good. Right, that's just talked about. That sometimes our prayers are not for God to make it happen, for us to pray that we have the strength, the ability, the hope, the courage, the stamina to make it happen ourselves with others. So that's very good. Miracles come in all sorts of forms. Excellent. Do you go to Hebrew school, Maya? Do you go to Hebrew school? I could tell. And you're probably learning good things at home, and I'm so glad you're adding your input to us tonight. It's great. This is what we do. We always welcome everybody to join in. We have lots of discussions. So, again, the argument is if it's about a miracle, maybe 7 nights, because the first one wasn't necessarily the same miracle. Okay, we have it for 8 nights to show that the miraculous is a product of what God does, what we do, what we know, what we don't know, what happens. So it's 8 nights together. Now, here's an interesting thought. Before Hanukkah, what was the last big Jewish holiday? We already finished it. Right after, Sukkot. Way to go, Mom. Rabbi Scott. Better be careful, she knows her stuff too. Yeah, you thought you were the only one, right? Who was Jewish in the family, she knows too. Sukkot. How long is Sukkot? There's at least 3 answers. 7 days, 8 days, 9 days. Let's stick with around that for now. Did the Maccabees celebrate Sukkot that year, 164? The argument is probably not. Why? Because they were fighting a war. They were fighting for their lives. They were fighting for Jerusalem, for the temple. When you're fighting a war, you can't always take time to go to synagogue and get the people together. I mean, you're busy, right? There's an thought that after they won the war and they repurified the temple, what do they say? What should we do here? Well, if we weren't fighting a little while ago, we would have done Sukkot. Why don't we celebrate Sukkot? So there's a theory that Hanukkah is really a after-the-thought celebration of Sukkot, because you could argue they're both like 8 days. According to the Torah, it's like 8 days. So it might have been a late holiday, a late Sukkot, which became Hanukkah, which spun off to become a holiday of itself. That's a theory. So you have all that stuff going. Okay. Now, a couple more points. Is this stuff new or interesting, or you guys know all this stuff? Because I saw Maya talking to everybody outside. She probably told you all this already. Hanukkah, is it a major or a minor festival in Jewish life? Okay, did anybody say major? All right. You're pretty right with minor by definition. It's not a yontiv. We work on Hanukkah, except for Shabbat. We don't stop our weekday regular activities. However, it's a minor holiday that's become a major holiday. You all know that. Pesach and Hanukkah are like the 2 biggest holidays that Jews around the world celebrate. So it's interesting what people do with things. They made it major. In Israel, which is filled with religious Jews, in Israel, Hanukkah is a minor holiday, but it became major because all the kids have off from school for 8 days, at least. It was like a midwinter celebration, and there are huge sales, and people go shopping, and they go around, and they celebrate Chanukiot are lit all over the country, big and little ones. Here we eat latkes traditionally. What do they traditionally eat in Israel? Sufganiot, which are donuts. The whole idea is fried something. Fried potatoes, fried oil, whatever it is, the donuts. And a lot of them are jelly donuts. They're like everywhere. I've been in Israel many times on Hanukkah, and you can walk into a regular store and there's like a big box of donuts at the door. Take one. So they're everywhere, literally, and it's a big celebration. Still minor, but it became major. So, okay, I know there's one last thing I wanted to tell you about Hanukkah, which I'll figure out in a second. There's too much to remember all at once. Anybody have any comments or questions about any of this stuff? Okay. So let me share one last thought. In the Talmud, the great big book of Jewish law and opinion, centuries of conversations, they discussed the lighting of the Hanukkah candles. There were 2 famous rabbis. I'm sure you've heard a lot of their names. Hillel and Shammai, 2 famous rabbis. Shammai said, on the first night, you should light 8 candles. They didn't have candles back then. They lit oil. That's why a lot of people like oil lamps today, because it's the ancient tradition. but almost anything you light is a great thing. I would say anything. They said first night, 8 nights, and then go down because you're counting the days left. So in the last night, it's 1 for 1 night left. Hillel had the exact opposite opinion. He said the first night you light 1, and you go up until the last night when all 8 plus the Shamash 9 are ablaze. And I think all of us get a sense of excitement and urgency when we see the whole thing lit on last night. There's nothing like that last night, they're all lit. So we had an opinion. We had a decision. Who do we follow? Shammai, 8-1, Hillel, 1-8. And in their days in Jerusalem a couple thousand years ago, you could tell a house whether they adhered to Shammai or Hillel by how many lights they had every night, because their disciples followed their opinion. What do? According to who? Hillel. Do you like the idea of 8-1? No? Oh, I hear a sure. I hear a no. Okay, there you go. We have more than one opinion right here, always. Shammai was a great scholar, but out of all the Jewish halachic legal matters that they discussed with Hillel, we follow like 98, 99% of what Hillel said. Not that Shammai wasn't right or a great scholar. He had a different opinion, but we follow Hillel, just so you know that. We follow Hillel in this way too. Shammai had a good argument, but the reason why we follow Hillel, and I'll finish with this, because it's a beautiful lesson to us all. Hillel said, Be'inyane kedusha ma'alin v'lo moridin. In matters of holiness, we should only rise up, add, ascend, and not come down, make it smaller. So 8-1 diminishes a light. 8 lights are brighter than 1. And 1-8 makes it very well lit. So we follow Hillel's opinion because we want to ascend. So Holly, here's a blessing for you and for everybody. In life, we hope you'll only climb. We hope you'll go from one strength to another, from one mitzvah to another, from one accomplishment to another, from one place to another, in terms of moving forward, moving ahead. Life is often not that easy. We have an expression, you take one step forward and then 2 steps back, because life just doesn't go in a straight, easy line. But you should always aim for more. And the more doesn't have to be just for yourself. It could mean for others. Like, I've got enough, but I want more for others. I've got enough food, but I want more for others. So we follow Hillel. Try to increase your knowledge, increase your awareness, increase your love, increase your knowledge of Judaism. You've done great tonight. You're going to do so much more tomorrow. We're so proud of what you accomplished, just like your sister did before you. But there's so much more left to go. So we hope that you will look towards that with an eye on where are we going, what's next, and never stop growing and never be satisfied like I'm okay here in terms of important things to grow. So that's a nice thing for all of us, and the Hanukkah lights show us that, and they're going to come, I guess, 24 nights from now, whenever that is. What is this, December 5th today? No, November 5th. I should remember that. My daughter's birthday was yesterday, so I better remember that. November 5th, so 24 days puts us like the 29th or so. So it's like the weekend of Thanksgiving, which is really early, relatively, and really rare. We hope Hanukkah will be joy for you wherever you go. I'm going to be able to say, Susan,
Yes,
you still paying attention?
I am. I'm very good at multitasking.
You're hiding behind your mask. I can't tell what you're doing there. Susan, I'm going to be able to tell people on Hanukkah, and I thank you for putting up with me and playing along with me. I'm going to be able to tell people, I know that there's 5,000 Jews in El Paso, and I know that at least one of those families is lighting a Hanukkah tonight. I'm going to be very proud of that, so thank you for that. But we hope you'll have a joyful Hanukkah when it comes, and we hope all good things, in a world that's had its fair share of problems the past couple of years and continues to be so. But we're hoping things will look up. So all good things for all of you. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Maya, you get a gold star for tonight, kid. You did really well. And we hope you'll have a joyful Hanukkah and Thanksgiving. But first, let's enjoy this great weekend for all that it's worth, right, with Holly and the family. So Shabbat Shalom. And when Hanukkah comes, since we won't all be together, we'll remember this, and we wish everybody well. Okay. You ready to go back to work? I'm done. It's your turn. Holly's going to come up here, and she's going to chant Kiddush for us. So we're going to invite you to turn in your Siddurim. I'm pretty sure it's page 55. It is. We'd like to invite those who are willing and able to rise for Kiddush, and Holly's going to chant it beautifully for us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher pari hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitchanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah banu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava v'ratzon himpilanu zikarom imas aseh v'reishi ki hu yom tehila lemikra de kodesh zikr b'liyad Yisrael ki v'anu b'harta v'hanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'ahava uvratzon himhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat.
Amen. That's okay.
At least it wasn't on your dress.
How about a big mazel tov and l'chaim to our bar mitzvah? L'chaim, beautiful job. We're now going to continue with Aleinu on the next page, 56.
Aleinu v'shabeach
L'adon hakol,
l'atei
g'dula li'yotzer b'reishit,
shalom asanu
goyeh haratzot,
V'lo samanu mishpachot ha'adama shalom v'samcha kenu kahen v'gor aleinu kechol
amonam, v'anachnu klorim, v'mishtachavim u'modim,
Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim
HaKadosh Baruch Hu,
V'ne'emar
v'haya Adonai,
lemelech
al kol haaretz, bayom ha'u, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. For those who would like to recite the mourner's Kaddish, please remain standing. All others may be seated. We welcome anyone who wants to remember loved ones who have died, b'ahava, with great love and great attachment to the past. We also, if they might be with us on live stream, the Belcott family. Sherry recently lost her mother Harriet. Other congregational families have lost loved ones in recent days. For everybody who loves and remembers, do we say, Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'yalama Divra Chutei, V'yamlich Malchutei, V'chayechon, U'v'yomechon, U'v'chayei D'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'adala U'bizman Kariv, V'yimaru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach, Le'olam U'lomeo Maya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shmei Kudsha B'richu, Le'elam Mikol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechamata, Dam Yiran V'yalama V'yimaru, Amen. Yehei Shloma Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yimaru, Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Ramath, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yimaru, Amen. Holly, you can go sit down with Mom and Dad and Abby. Good Shabbos, everybody. So good to see you. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for having fun with us. Shabbat is supposed to be an Oneg Shabbat, a time of festivity and joy, and it is for so many reasons, including this great Simcha. Holly did beautifully, but you're not done. We need you tomorrow morning. Okay? Mom and Dad, so you can get her here? Yeah? Abby too, as long as you're driving. All for you. Want to see you come in tomorrow? Good for you. So we'll look forward to seeing you all. We start at 9:30 tomorrow, and we're going to celebrate Shabbat Toldot, and we're going to celebrate Holly's Bar Mitzvah and all good things. And we're looking forward to having you all join in. And we'll watch Holly read the Torah and become a Bar Mitzvah. Be a great thing. After we're done, you can leave your books either on the chairs or on the little tables at the end of each aisle, and you can get them again tomorrow. There's some, I believe, some Bakuke Mine, bottles of water in the lobby for you. When it wasn't pandemic, we served more, but now we're kind of like, cutting back a little bit. But please drive carefully. If you came in over here, the design of our parking lot is to be a one-way kind of horseshoe. So just keep circling around so you don't run into each other, and drive carefully. This is often a busy thoroughfare, so be careful. And we'll see you tomorrow. Mom and Dad, anything else we should say or know?
No, we're just gonna head out, because we're gonna have dinner at our home.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it. We're looking forward to continuing the weekend with everyone.
Well, thank God you said that. Can you imagine Lauren said, yeah, we're going home now, and I don't think I'm coming back tomorrow? I would have to think real fast on my feet there, Laura. We're looking forward to it all. You, Scott, all the family. What a great symptom. We had a lot of people here. Who's here for Abby's? There you go, a bunch of you. Great. So now here you are back for Holly's, and it's all good. So we're very much looking forward to it, and we'll see you tomorrow. So we want to finish. For those of you who are comfortable putting your arms around each other, oh, I had one last thing, I knew it. I always have one last thing, which is really 40 last things, but whatever. There's a lady sitting very quietly in the back. Rachel Fox, how are you? Good, how's the last row? Good. You know where Rachel's going to be next week? Front row. Why?
For her daughter's bar mitzvah.
For Rachel's daughter's bar mitzvah, Brenna. So we want to say an early mazel tov to you. Thank you for helping by ushering and everything you're doing tonight, Rach. We're looking forward to seeing you and the gang next week. So you can relax today, but next week you're on. If you guys are ushering next week, you can enjoy the back row. There you go. There you go. Yeah. You can look at Rachel and go, hey, been there, done that. Yeah. So it's all good. This is what families do here. They help each other. They come and volunteer to assist each other. So Rach, it's good seeing you, and an early mazel tov to all. And if you can put your arms around each other, we want to bless you in Hebrew and English with the words of bracha v'shalom, a blessing and peace from the Torah.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Ken Yeh Ratzon.
Ya'er Adonai pnav elecha v'chunecha.
Ken Yeh Ratzon.
Yisar Adonai pnav elecha v'yaseh lecha shalom.
Ken Yeh Ratzon. May the Lord bless you and keep you, give you light, and above all, give you peace. And let us all say,
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, gang. Great to see you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.